Welcome to the Hoja on Architecture podcast. Vernacular Architecture, Chapter 6, Material as an Output. As mentioned in previous episodes, material, technique, and form are the concrete outputs of this study. This study acknowledges the definition of building material as follows: any item involved in the design and construction of architecture that comes together to create the form of the structure. Material choice is a result of complex design decisions. As expected, many vernacular builders tend to use the closest set of dominant materials. Snow is plenty in the polar region, where wood is available in forests, and earth is the obligatory option in deforested, warmer surroundings. The physical map of the world proves this general gradient in material choice. Certain materials end after certain latitudes, but new ones replace them where people living in transitional places use both options. On the other hand, author Charles Gritzner thinks that availability is not the main factor of material selection in vernacular architecture. He offers a new set of economic theories, such as comparative advantage, primary resource use, and diminishing returns in his book, Construction Materials in a Folk Housing Tradition. Nevertheless, there is a universal rule even since the Neolithic age of using temporary materials for housing and permanent ones for communal buildings such as temples or meeting houses. Most of the time, it is apparent that vernacular builders face challenging material restrictions compared to formal architects. As a result, they push the limits of structural features of what is available and achieve inspiring results. Each material has unique structural qualities, and local builders exhibit vast wisdom in material interpretation, demonstrating what can and cannot be done with local resources. Vernacular architecture often outperforms formal structures, particularly in terms of thrift, longevity, and climatization features. Respect for the quality of materials is one of the most essential lessons vernacular architecture can teach. When a wider selection of materials is available, the decision phase incorporates other factors such as fashion, beliefs, norms, prestige, technology, ease of use, and cost. Vernacular architecture embodies the sustainability motto: reduce, reuse, recycle, both economically and environmentally, with materials from deserted buildings often reused for new constructions. Vernacular structures typically use materials sourced from the ground or growing naturally. These are categorized into two main groups: earthen and organic. Earthen materials include earth itself, stone, metal, and even snow. Organic materials encompass vegetative resources such as logs, branches, reeds, bamboo, fibers, and leaves. Although limited in quantity, animal products such as bones, hair, hide, horns, seashells, and dung are also employed in vernacular architecture. Earth is the most widely used construction material globally, with estimates showing that 1/3 to half of all structures are made from it. Its availability, affordability, and ease of use make it a favored option. Techniques often involve adding varying amounts of binding agents like lime, sand, or dung, along with water, to achieve the desired plasticity of the mud mixture. Earth is predominantly used in areas with scarce timber, and unsupported vault techniques were invented in woodless regions. With high compression strength and excellent thermal capacity, the Earth is beneficial in climates with significant daily temperature fluctuations. Since the Earth is a non-renewable resource, it can be reused from abandoned structures for new projects. However, it is vulnerable to natural hazards such as floods, earthquakes, and erosion. The organic group includes naturally grown vegetation in various forms. Wood is as widely used as earth in both vernacular and formal architecture, ranging from unprocessed logs to planks and chopped timber. Branches, bark, grass, leaves, and bamboo stems are also utilized, each in specific ways tailored to design needs. For instance, dried leaves serve as coverings, stems from crops like wheat or barley are employed structurally, and bamboo is popular in hot, humid climates due to its tensile strength and durability. Unfortunately, the widespread use of vegetative materials often contributes to deforestation. In some regions, plants are cultivated specifically for construction purposes, but this practice is not universally adopted. Mixed techniques combining earthen and vegetative materials are standard in vernacular architecture. Animal products form a small subset of organic materials used in vernacular structures. Hides and fabric woven from animal hair serve as covering membranes in several cultures, while bones and horns have occasionally been used as structural components. Despite focusing on locally available materials, some cultures have historically imported structural resources. Modern inventions like railroads have introduced formal materials like corrugated iron into vernacular construction. Examples include modern yurts covered with plastic instead of traditional felt. Additionally, discarded waste products like beer cans or tires are often repurposed in urban vernacular settings. While some scholars argue that using formal materials challenges the definition of vernacular architecture, this study accepts their presence but considers them to be pushing the term's boundaries. Materials also carry symbolic meanings tied to prestige or status. Traditional materials are rejected in several places due to poverty or low socioeconomic status associations. Modern materials are adopted even if they are climatically unsuitable or unnecessarily expensive, steadily replacing traditional ones and causing cultural discrepancies. Studies examining the disappearance of traditional methods and materials remain rare. This is the end of the Vernacular Architecture, Chapter 6, Material as an Output. Thanks for listening. See you in the next episode.